So it's your girl Saf. So I just did 3 videos on your upper limit. So the reason why I'm sharing this today, right, is because there's a really big part of me that's called towards the supernatural, that is called to living in the house of love forevermore, right? So I can't even describe it, like words can't even, anyway. And there's a real knowing that comes with the power of who you are. But the other side to that, so I was attracted, I'm still really curious, right? There's a coach online, and I love his marketing, although marketing is such a dichotomy in itself, right? Because the marketing pulls on your pay points, right? It pulls on your desires. And so there will often be big, bold claims to make themselves be different, right? To differentiate themselves. And but sometimes if you're not good at critical thinking, you can get pulled into that without seeing the nuances, right? Without seeing what that person's own filters are, and kind of not trusting your own self, right? And you know, you're not looking for perfection, you're just kind of looking to move forward. That's really it. Anyway, so this person who's marketing, you know, he levitates. He talks about, he's showing videos of other people that levitate, and I fully believe, right, that it is completely possible. And in fact, I've got other coaches that have done it before as well, right? And telekinesis and stuff like that. And I'm sure, like, we're all coming online, so we'll all be able to do this, right? But one of the things that he shares that triggers the crap out of me, right, is around the 1% of the 1% in spirituality, and being completely submitted to Christ consciousness and God, which I do believe that, right? So I'm not, but then I don't know everything. So although Christ speaks to me, that's the way that I find it. Literally always comes in through Christ for me. Moreover, I believe it's unconditional love, right? And I believe that religion didn't actually, I mean, I guess in kind of a way it does help, because if you're lost in the darkness, then your walls can come down and then love can find you, right? So in that way it can serve as a quickening process. But it's more that so just getting to the point, one of the things he shared was most people are going to hell, right? And that triggers the crap out of me. I'll be honest, right? One of the things on my journey that I've really learned is the power of love, like unconditional love, the power of love. And you see it in videos everywhere, right? So like if there's a stray dog that's been treated really badly, you know, was traumatized at birth, had humans that hit him or whatever, and then suddenly he's found by a family of humans that love him and they nurture him, that dog opens up to love and becomes one of the most loving beings of all, right? And that really is the power of love. Once you know it in your heart, right? And you know that you're not going to be hurt or traumatized, or you know that you're bigger than any of the illusion that exists in 3D. So even though I'm really like drawn to this person, because I really like, you know, the idea of being submitted to love, like fully submitted to love, unconditionally, and being that way, and having myself be that way in all situations, all environments, and knowing the power that exists within me, so that I never actually have to be scared of anything, even though, you know, we'll overcome things as we move through them. That part of me which reads, I don't know who needs to know this, but most people are going to hell, just doesn't vibe. Right? It just doesn't vibe. Because I believe, right, that there is no paradox in unconditional love. If there can be no evil in love, right? And love is life. Then logically it doesn't make any sense. But here's the other thing. If you understand how the mind works and how the limited mind gives meaning to things, and when you've been disconnected, when you've been detached from the tree of life, then you will understand that the mind will create a story, or it will try and give some kind of meaning to whatever it has experienced, right? So say, for example, we do have eternal light bodies. We do have soul scars, soul imprints. We influence each other all the fucking day long, right? Because we all have our own stories, right? And so our energy is always influencing each other. And then you have the restorative cosmic flame, the fire of God. And you come across that. Then if you've, say, for example, suffered a trauma, and you're in that story, and you're being purified, right, by cosmic fire, then it's possibly not going to feel so pleasant, right? It's possibly not going to feel so nice. But you know, any of the stories that you read about hell, you will notice that everyone comes back, right? You will notice that everyone comes back, even if they come back to tell a tale of it, or to warn others, or whatever, they will come back. And so that for me was a big red flag. And even though there's a part of me that, you know, would really like to explore levitation and all of those things, and a lot of the stuff is really good, actually, I'm not gonna lie, if it doesn't feel unconditionally loving, if it has a lot of dogma in it, if it has a ton of judgment in it, then it's probably not for me. And then I have to reconcile that with myself, with, am I missing out on one of the greatest opportunities of my life, right? Or is that my own FOMO kicking in? Like, is that my own FOMO kicking in? And can I trust God to find me and grow me and expand me in a way where I haven't put someone else as the authority? And this is some of the tests, and these are some of the things of discernment that we have to grow through, right? So, and it is really, it's not good or bad, it's not right or wrong, it's just a journey of discovery. And so one of the other things, you know, that he talks about is, and I'm not trying to complain, right? And I'm not saying that he's wrong, right? One of the other things that he talks about is, you know, unconscious healing, and how it is false light and it's new age and just keeps you trapped in the 3D matrix and things like that. But I've got to say, you know, I've been on this journey a little while, and I know people that have done incredible things with God at their side, right? Mike Parsons being one of them, Justin Abrahams being another one, Nancy Cohen being another one. And the journey is just never ending. It's always expanding. And so the reason why, I don't even know if I'm going to post this video, but the reason why, like, this possibly triggered me, not just the fact that I want to be, you know, completely unconditionally loving and know who I am, so that we do actually move into these states of thrival and abundance, is because this morning I had a session with one of my clients, and we did one on Friday, and there's something that she's been kind of struggling with, right, for quite some time. Well, I'm not at liberty to say exactly what. Anyway, we got to the root cause of the trauma, of the memory, where the pattern was created. And she hasn't really experienced any of it in the 3 days over the weekend. Right, and that's the power of the work. That's the power of healing. That's the power of coming back into love. That's the power of clearing your limiting beliefs. So yes, although Christ exists beyond all of your beliefs, and it is literally just your limiting beliefs that stand in the way of who you are, I do believe that God uses everything and transforms everything into gold. So what's my point? So my point is, right, so as I read about this person's post and their marketings, and then I also see that they're using the same kind of things. One is critical thinking. Two is my own internal decisions and just trusting that I'm making the right choice, even if it doesn't feel like the right choice, right? And then third is trusting my own creative genius of what I was born to do and to deliver it in the way that calls me, right? Because the transformation, the positive transformation that I have seen, not just with my clients, right? I'm talking like, you know what? I could actually start crying because it's just so beautiful to see them transform. And be happy and live, and you know, like really live a life of peace and really move into that way. But it's not just that. It's transformed me. It's transformed my own life. It's transformed all of my relationships, right? And what is the fucking point of healing if you're gonna leave people behind, right? What is the point if you cannot? I actually think it says in the Bible, right? Love your enemy. For what? What gain is there in loving the people that you already love? Right? If you can love your enemy and bring your enemy back into love, meaning you recognize them for who they actually are, the prodigal son, the lost sheep, what better reward is there? And you know this, right? Because when people are happy and you're happy, it is the best fucking feeling and environment ever. When you're in an environment where people have lots of unconscious agendas and they're worried about themselves or others, or worried about being hurt and they can't trust each other, it's horrible. Right? It really is. It doesn't mean that you can't, you know, grow through it and get stronger, but it's not what I choose, right? It's not what I choose. Anyway, so that's my really long video. So thank you for watching, if you did watch. I'm sure that I processed my own mental overthinking as I move through these videos. But yeah, if you're a healer, if you're someone here with, and not just healers, right? If you're here with a purpose, it could be any fucking field right out there that you provide your genius to. And you're doing it from a space of service, right? You're doing it from a space of love. You're doing it from a space of growth as you learn and discover more. And you're doing it from a space of contribution. Then it is my humble belief that you're on the right path, right? And right, just to finish this, right? God has made his mind up about you. God has great thoughts about you, every single thing that she has created. And so there is nothing that can stand in the way of that. And although to us in the human experience, it might seem kind of jarring and really overwhelming, probably for most of the cosmos. Oh, I can see the parakeets. There is nothing that will ever stop the love of God from bringing us into full maturity as a son of God and expanding that infinitely more and more as we learn to create in different ways. I feel like that's confirmation, right? Thank you guys. Take care. Bye.